Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Donald R. McKinney, and I'm here again to chat with you about part 5 of our little series called Diaries of a Sex Addict. Once again, I've had people inquiring, is the sex addict me? And once again, I have to tell you, no, it is not. I am not the sex addict. While I have had some escapades, if I told you my sex life, you'd probably be pretty bored. Um, well, maybe a little bored. Anyway, this is part 5. If you want to see the other ones, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can find them on YouTube along with, if you want to read some of my books, you can find them at Amazon. When you go in, just put Donald, that's easy to spell, middle initial R, and last name McKenney. And my 3 little books should pop up. First one is called God Bless America, political thriller. I think you will enjoy it. I'm sure you will enjoy it. It relates to some of the political turmoil we are dealing with today, but it approaches it in a way that may surprise you. Read it, may surprise you. My approach. The other one is called How to Be 99% Happy in Any Relationship. Just a humorous look at relationships and how to deal with them. Nothing, it's going to change your life. Some stuff may change your life. And the next one is called How to Be 99% Happy in Life. Same thing, just a happy medium, something to make you laugh, make you think a little, but mostly make you laugh. Your friends might like it if they're readers. Think of me over the holidays. Every little bit helps. Okay, let's get to this. Like I said, this is part 5 of Diary of a Sex Addict. And I've been keeping some notes because it's getting harder and harder to remember all this stuff. And the first thing we were discussing the last time I talked to the gentleman was sex with married women. Very interesting. He said he had had sex with a number of married women. Now, I know people have different moral issues with that. Well, as far as I know, it happens more frequently than most people think. Once again, I'm not saying I agree, but I'm also not judging anyone. We all have to live our own lives, and that includes married people. That said, he said one thing that it was important when he had sex with married women. I think he even briefly dated one or two, and some of them he said were married only by the piece of paper. The marriage, as a marriage should be, had pretty much gone the way of the dodo egg a long time ago. What I mean by that is the marriage had pretty much been done. They just stayed together, the couple. And so the woman was doing what she wanted to do, or they wanted to do, and the men, I guess, in those marriages that had kind of fallen apart were doing what they wanted to do. So he said one important thing was making himself available to the married women and making himself submissive. And I found that pretty interesting because I didn't think it was that difficult. But he said that what he wanted to do, especially if he wanted to bed these women, was make himself available because obviously they didn't have all the time in the world. And by making himself submissive, he said that he listened and kind of catered to their needs, not necessarily financial, but just emotional, because he was giving them what they weren't getting at home. And he said some of them were just lust. They wanted to have sex with him as much as he wanted to have sex with them. And so, that was an opportunity for him to sleep with them and vice versa. Clearly those relationships don't last long, but I guess some of them figure it's better to have a good time briefly than not at all. Okay? And so that's what he did. And the next one was sex with women with boyfriends, which I found interesting because once again I asked him, about sharing women. He said as far as he was concerned, it wasn't a big issue for him because he was getting what he wanted. They were getting what they wanted, the women that is, and it wasn't costing anybody anything. And I asked him questions about, I said, well, what did you get out of sleeping with these married women or single women, or no, not single women, but women with boyfriends or who live with men? And he said they would do some of the most nasty stuff that you can imagine. I don't know if I should specify. I don't want to get in trouble, but let's just say he left. They, with many of them, left no left no stones covered. And I don't know if you understand it, but let's just say everything. Many of them did a little bit of everything. Maybe even things they didn't do with their spouses or their boyfriends. And I asked him, I said, well, if they didn't do it with their spouses or boyfriends, or at least it was alleged, how did you get them to do it? And what he said was that he encouraged and instructed. And he said that was his secret. His secret was to instruct them on what to do. And then once he got them to take that step into giving him what he wanted, like I said before, it could have been oral or some of the other different things. Once again, I don't want to be too graphic, but in our last discussion, he said that he was able to pretty much do anything he wanted with them. So I'll leave that up to you. But he said how he got them to see it his way was to tell them what he wanted, but then instruct. And then after the act started to take place, he encouraged them, told them what a good job they did, how satisfying it was, things like that. So, also what he said was that he found that many of the women, they themselves didn't necessarily want to be in relationships, but they ended up in those relationships because other people thought they should be. Women who believe that they should be with a man to be thought of as a woman. Many women, or many people, period, are uncomfortable being single. But this was, interesting to me, the discussions about this sort of thing. Also, I want to touch on one more thing before I go, and that is about this young fella who's been bullied. I can't think of his name, but there's a big thing going on about him, and his family member, I think his mother, posted it, and then everybody found out that she had pictures of herself with a Confederate flag, and so now everybody's kind of jumping up and down about that. I'll just make this quick. First off, we have to teach our kids that bullying is, quite honestly, going to be something that you may have to deal with. Whether you're young, older, grown-ups are bullied by workmates, by bosses. People are bullied by parents or by their siblings. We all have been bullied or get bullied some point in time. And it's how you deal with it that makes the difference. And I think parents need to start teaching their kids, like, hey, don't necessarily believe what someone says about you. You have to be strong enough to say, hey, you can say anything you want about me, but my parent and the people who love me, they encourage and strengthen me and tell me that I'm special and that I'm going to do great things, and I believe that more than I believe the bad things you say about me. I mean, I don't think that bullying is okay, obviously. I don't think anybody should be bullied. But I think when I was coming up, one thing that made it easy for me to deal with bullies, even as an adult, was that I trusted and believed in myself. And that strengthened me and gave me the fortitude to deal with bullies and put them in their place. Um, like I said before, I think that we need to make sure our kids understand that the love that we have for them is enough, and the things that we say to them is enough, that no matter what anybody says negative, whether they're an adult, a child, that they can overcome anything. Like I said before, I don't know, obviously, how the school cliques work, different groups, go off to each other. But my goodness, we are not going to always be there to rescue our kids. There are going to be times when we're not around at all. So our kids are going to have to stand on their own. And if you strengthen the child and give the child the fortitude to stand on his own feet, by him standing up, the bully will then be put down. So many people are disappointed when they found out about his mother's background. But I think what we have to do is, instead of, always rescuing, we have to strengthen. The old saying, if you feed a man, he'll eat a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat forever. So it's kind of the same thing with bullies. Kids shouldn't be committing suicide and killing themselves and hurting themselves because of things people are saying online. Because how they used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Once again, my name is Donald R., middle initial McKinney, MC, Kenney. You can find my books on Amazon. And once again, this is part 5 of The Diary of a Sex Addict. Thank you very much. Take care.